Cheryl, Lewy, the mayor of the village of Larchmont, and I'd like to welcome you to Larchmont Notes. I'd like to dedicate this show to bring you up to date on what's going on with our Village Hall project. I have Mumma, the deputy mayor, with me. Welcome, Marianne.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Marianne is the liaison to the Village Hall project, and Marianne has been intimately involved. And since this is a momentous event in our village, we've been recording the project as it's moving along, both by film and by video. And Marianne, perhaps you want to go back to some of the earlier clips of this first week of the project and bring people up to date.
Let's start with the asbestos removal. How are you? Okay, Village Hall's all prepared, all set to go. Everything's been sealed off, and this gentleman is about to start the asbestos removal. To investigate how we should redesign Village Hall. She was appointed about 2 years ago, and you were here today very, very hard.
And this is my first trip into Village Hall since the construction has begun. And it's a thrill since, I was around since the beginning of this stage of the process. And it's terrific to see it all underway. Some of the bones of the original building are showing. I think the extended courtroom, which is sort of the heart of the village process, is back to its original form. And what's wonderful for me to see is that the project really has been defined along the lines that the committee, which was a group of concerned citizens, some architects, designed and thought about right from the very beginning. It includes keeping the old courtroom where it was, a room that's familiar and comforting to all of us. Putting the elevator in the core of the building, which seems so much more sensible and aesthetically pleasing than putting it in another position. Anyway, it's very exciting to see this project underway.
Tina, it must be really satisfying to see your ideas beginning to come to fruition. I mean, this is just the start, but it's got to be a great feeling for you.
Well, it is a thrill to see this old building coming back, into its own. But I would like to express some appreciation to you, Marianne. The committee was only one component of this process, and you were the committee liaison, or the trustee liaison, during this whole process, and with enormous equanimity and enthusiasm, you kept all of the different players, going, and kept the process very productive. You were balancing the ad hoc committee's recommendations with the feelings of the board of trustee. You had to, deal with the village staff. It was a marvelous juggling job, and the village is very appreciative of everything you do.
Thank you, Tina. Those are nice words.
Marianne, I have a question for you. It's the $64,000 question, I think, in the village at this point. When I'm in the Grand Union or in Manor Park, a lot of villagers ask me if we're going to have a tax increase to finance the renovation of Village Hall.
In the last election, Tina, our opponents said that we would have to have a 5 to 7% tax increase in order to renovate Village Hall. Well, I don't believe that's the case at all. Because right now, as of today, the project is within approved budget, and we are ahead of schedule. One good piece of news is that the mayor was able to get $50,000 in grants towards the elevator, and Ned Benton, one of my fellow trustees, got a $100,000 low interest rate loan through the fire department up in Albany. You know, the interest rates right now are historically low. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. And I believe that within our existing debt service budget, we're going to be able to manage this debt service completely.
Mary Ann, this is great news. So we're within budget, we're ahead of schedule, and with the new low interest rates, the financing looks very, very favorable.
Tina, I know that restoring the ceilings to their original walls and condition was one of the things that was near and dear to your heart. Take a look at it. That's the courtroom.
You bet. This is very exciting, being up here on the third floor. Here we see the, what would you call it, the superstructure of the vaulted ceiling in the courtroom, and the vaulted ceiling that is over the current treasurer's office, is also being uncovered, and so the building really will come back to a lot of its original form, and I think that's going to be thrilling to everybody in the village. Also, we're up here on the third floor, which for many years has been a very dim and uninviting space. There has been a conference room up here, and I think all of us who have been in Village Hall on a volunteer basis have dreaded spending any time up there because, you know, it's so uninviting. And at this point, a lot of the partitions are coming down up on the third floor. The fire department agreed to come up here with their company rooms, and I think it was a gracious gesture. It freed up space downstairs for the important administrative offices of the village. But I don't think any of us thought that this was going to be an improved space for them. I think we felt that they were making a large sacrifice giving up those old, traditional, beautiful second floor rooms. As it turns out, I think personally that this is an improved space. I think the fire department is going to love it. It's big, it's spacious, it connects nicely, and I think the third floor is going to be a beauty.
You know, I would love to take you down and see if what we can see on the second floor, because I think they've opened the vaulted ceilings to the treasurer's office. Tina, here we are. They have taken down the hung ceiling, and now you can see the vaulted ceiling in the water department. This is where you pay your water bill.
Right, right. Well, this is terrific. I think all the sins of the 60s are being removed. I mean, the lowered acoustic ceilings and the insubstantial paneling, and I think that this is especially exciting because it shows how the courtroom went through the entire center of the building, and everybody will be aware of this as the sort of heart of the village and not heart of the building.
Have been wondering where all the different departments in the village have gone. Well, the fire department is here at Mavis, and I'm here with Chief Mike Weiner. And Mike, could you tell us how you happened to end up here?
A lot of hard work. About 2 months ago, it looked like this. It took us a whole bunch of work to clean it up. This was unused space on top of Mavis when we got here. We spent a lot of time cleaning it up and then refurbishing it. The room we're meeting in right now is our new big meeting room. As you can see, it's set up for both meeting and training. And what we've done is taken our memorabilia and tried to make it as much like home as possible, realizing that we're only going to be here a short time.
Do I understand you're getting this rent-free?
Yes.
which is a wonderful community service in Mavis, and we're all very, very grateful to them.
The only expense to the village will be the utilities. It looked before. This is the way it looks now. Again, as you can see, a lot of wreckage had to be torn apart to get to retrofit it.
Now, Mike, what is this room used for at the moment?
This room is our office area, and this room is where we hold the officers' meetings. People perform all the record keeping for the fire department.
And there are some people busily doing that right now, I can say.
Correct.
You guys have done a phenomenal job cleaning this all up. Completed the tour of the first week of demolition of Village Hall and the renovation, and I'm back here with Mayor Cheryl Lewy. And Cheryl, I want to ask you a question. Everywhere I go, the Grand Union, walking through Manor Park, walking along the streets doing Christmas shopping, people want to know what the renovation of Village Hall is going to do to their taxes.
Marianne, I wish the answer were simple and I could give it in 2 words, but it's a little bit longer than that. The taxes are determined when we set the village budget every April. And to arrive at that tax rate, we go through our budget process. As you know, we have open budget hearings. The entire staff comes in with their budget. One component of that budget process is the money that we borrow and the interest and amortization that we pay on that. And Village Hall does have a price tag attached to it, and we had some meetings earlier this fall to discuss how much we were going to borrow for this building. And we had to analyze whether we were going to pay cash for some of it or borrow it. And as you know, interest rates right now are extremely favorable, and we are permitted by law to borrow money on this building for 20 years. And so the board made a decision to borrow money to pay for most of the project because we could get a very favorable rate. And so we authorized borrowing, drop a shade over $1.6 million. So we have left to figure out how we are going to allocate that within the total budget picture, whether we're going, and how we're going to deal with the surplus that the village currently has. I think we're all committed to minimizing to the greatest amount the impact that the Village Hall project would have on people's taxes. We've affirmed that over and over again. There are several different methods out there that board members have proposed that we might use to accomplish that task. I've asked the budget committee to look at it. This is something that we do on a regular basis. This is not new. You know, the 12 years, 11 years I've been involved, we have always looked at our budget very carefully. And so we will hold open meetings to do that. So the answer is, I personally believe that the homeowner will only minimally, if at all, feel the impact on their home taxes. Because we can do a total budget approach, which will apply surplus, that will stretch the impact out over 20 years and control it.
Good. People will be delighted to hear that, I'm sure. And it goes to show that our village really is in fiscally excellent condition. We have a high rating for borrowing. And I just wanted to ask you one other thing. That $1.6 million, doesn't that include everything? It's not just construction. The construction is under $1.25 million.
And then there are component parts for contingency, architectural fees. But that number also includes the cost of moving across the street.
Right.
And moving the seniors up to the VFW hall where they are, takes in all those different component parts. So no, there is no Taj Mahal being built here. What we've said, as Tina pointed out earlier in the show, we're stripping away a lot of the bad 50s and 60s patch jobs on the building. But you've done a wonderful job in contributing to bringing down this, to bringing the project in on budget. And this has been your liaison assignment. And as maybe our viewers don't know, that all the trustees have approximately 10 liaisons. Some of them are much more important than others. Mary Ann has taken on the responsibility for the Village Hall project. Ned Benton is working with the fire department and telecommunications. Ken Bialo is focusing on the sewer project and the reservoir. And I've asked Bruce Cawley, who's working on the taxis, to also look at our capital expenditures. under my tenure, and actually you worked on this too, Mary Ann, we have renovated the library, we have renovated the village yard, we've bought 3 fire trucks, our streets are in good repair, all of our vehicles are on an ongoing replacement program, but yet there are things that we left undone in this building, such as repairing windows that need to be replaced, boiler is not going to be replaced, there's additional roofing work that will need to be done. We'll want to set up a schedule to paint it over a period of time. And there are other projects in the village that need doing. And so although we have constantly done this maintenance, I've asked Bruce to help us in this new budget cycle to lay it out on paper, because the best way to arrive at that tax rate question answer is to lay out our future capital expenses, which we've done on a 5 to 20 year basis ever since I've been involved, but we want to update that information and have it be as complete as possible.
Cheryl, I think one of the things that viewers might be interested in knowing also is that we got 2 grants from the county for this, towards the elevator. We got an original $25,000, and then we went back and we got another $25,000. And thank you for helping with that, because you were very instrumental in that. And then also we got a $100,000 low-interest loan from the fire department in Albany through Trustee Ned Benton. So all this, I think, is very satisfying to know that people really feel that this is a valuable project and they want to help.
Yes, I mean, it's been another test that I've had to learn to write grants as well, as everything else that I do, since we don't have a grant writer on our staff. But we've tried to get as much grant money as we can from the county government, from the state government, towards these projects. And it helps. We got $181,000 to build the senior center at the library. We have $50,000 now from CDBG money for the elevator here. And we certainly will go back while the project's in process and see if we can get even more money, because there's so many more components that are handicap accessibility here than just the elevator.
Exactly. Well, we've ended the first week of Village Hall renovation, and also we've ended our tours. So I would like to just give you a very, very brief look through at what's been accomplished this week. And this is the old finance office, and this is where you used to pay your water bills. And there is the entrance to what used to be Carmine's office. And this is the old engine company room, and this is going to be a multi-purpose conference room, which is going to be used by the court and all the village offices. And this is where the court used to be. It was one small room and one closet, and it's been opened up, and this is the space now that the judge and the court will use for business. And over here, we're going to have the police locker rooms and the handicap bathrooms. And this is going to be the fire company room. And down there, we're going to have the fire training room.
I'm Cheryl, Lewy, the mayor in the village of Larchmont, and I'd like to close by thanking you for watching this version of Larchmont Notes. I'd like to thank Mumma, the deputy mayor, for taking you on a tour of the Village Hall project, and all the other guests that joined